Welcome csc200. This is our ex9 exercise, and this will be more about how our output looks on a web page. So we'll be doing a little HTML, a little CSS, as well as some PHP as well. So I just logged into my Goorm container, and I'm going to launch my Goorm container right here, my Goorm PHP. Hopefully you've already completed ex8, and my workspace is loading up. And remember, this is my terminal down here. And we had a little issue last time where I couldn't make a folder unless I put it in my terminal. Now, let me go over to my project here. Let me refresh. If it's ever not showing, just hit refresh. So it's showing up there. So there's my ex8 folder. That was from last time. This is ex9 fin. You will not have that. I have a finished version just to show you as an example. But before I do that, let me go to my MySQL start txt. And I think you have to do this each time. And I'm just going to copy this part here and paste it to start MySQL. And then I'm going to restart my Apache server. And that's so we can see our PHP code. And then I'm going to put in MySQL and start running that. So MySQL is running right now. And the reason it's running is because I want to show you something. I have a file here, it's finished, and this is what we're going to do. Notice we have multiple index.php files, so be careful when you open these up. So you may have a couple tabs that say index.php, and you may not know which folder it's in, so just be aware of that, because we have one main index.php file, and then you're going to have an index.php file inside of every folder. Now we're going to make an ex9, but just for now I want to show you something. I'll open this file up. I'll close up this text file here. We're going to be doing something like this. We're going to be putting a bunch of HTML in here. We're also going to be doing some style tags, which is CSS. And then we're also going to have PHP, which is going to be embedded in our page. And we're going to use a table so that things look nice. And the purpose is, and let me just show you this. If I go to project and I go to my server page, when you go to your local host, when you go here, remember, this is our main directory, and if you click in here, it'll show you the index page. So what it just showed you is this page. And there's nothing really to see here. It's just a test page. We could even get rid of it. But what I am going to do is go to the end of this, and I'm going to type in ex9 fin. Now you're going to do ex9 once we create that. I'm going to go through creating this, but this is just the finished product. So I'm going into ex9 fin, and I don't need to put /index.php because it'll find that automatically. If I hit return, this is what we're seeing here, and this is what we're going to do. We're displaying basically a query result, and we're putting it in a table so it looks nice. And notice we have alternating colors. It's in a specific font. We even have the results displaying at the end. So we can set something up that'll display our correct results in a table. And eventually we're going to create our own input so we can add things to a database and display it this way. But as another step as we keep working here, we're going to make this look nice. Because remember last time we did it, we just had a strip of text along the side. We're going to make things look a little nicer using HTML and CSS. So this is going to be our finished product. So it's not going to be as much about the query that we do. This one's about Oceania and population and the code and the country, but it's going to be more about having things display nicely on a page. So that's what we're going to be doing. If you remember our ex8, if I just go back here and go back to ex8, oh, there it is. I don't know, I guess I just had a refresh. But anyway, here's my ex8 page with ex8, and that's what we finished up in ex8. So what we're going to do now is do something that is going to be our ex9 that's going to show a table so it looks a little nicer than this. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now before I do that, I'll just kind of run a quick video about a table because we're going to create a table. So right now I'll just play a quick little video in between what I'm going to do next, and you'll watch a little video about a table. It's an older video, but here it comes. Here's a quick little graphic here, but basically the way a table is set up, you're familiar with tables probably from Word or Excel. They're rows and columns. Basically there's 1, 2, 3 rows going down, and there's 3 columns going across. And the way they're identified is they identify a row with the TR tag. So basically there's going to be a TR, and then at the end, they're not showing it, there's an ending TR with a slash in front of it. And this would be a TR, and this would be the ending TR.
and this would be the TR, and that stands for table row. So this would be the first opening tag of the table row, and then at the end there would be an ending tag of the table row. Same thing with these. Now these are on top almost like they're columns, but they actually represent each one of these. They don't represent the whole column all the way down. They actually represent a cell. So TD is actually a cell. It's called like table data is what that stands for. So this is a TD, this is a TD, this is a TD. So each of these will have an opening TD and an ending TD. Opening TD, ending TD, opening TD, ending TD, and then a closing TR. So that's the way our table is set up, and they'll all be enclosed in a kind of a starting table tag and a closing table tag. So that's the basics of a table. So we have to put these little tags in here, these elements. And we can do that. Remember, we can put HTML into our PHP as a string as long as they're in quotes. So if we go back, we'll just kind of look at how to do this.
Okay, thanks for watching that about the tables. Hope that helped a little bit. But anyway, I'm going to close this up because this is actually a finished version, which we're not going to use. So let me close that up. And I'm actually going to close up this little folder here so it doesn't distract me. And ex8, what we're going to do here, we may copy the file out of here. So that way we can use the one we already did. So that's why I said, hopefully you already did ex8, so we're going to use the code from this file. But before I do that, and I tried this out and I think this is going to work. So we don't have to do that make dir, because I tried it again and they must have fixed it, because I've been sending emails to Goorm about certain things. So what you should be able to do to make a folder, you should be able to do this. You should be able to go new folder, and you should just type in ex9. And that's all you're going to be doing. And just do it lowercase. And be careful, because I just put it in my ex8 folder. So let me delete that. I'll just do it again just so I make sure I show you how to do it the right way. Make sure you do this. Make sure you click on the Goorm folder before you make a new folder, so it goes inside here. So make sure you hit this and do new folder. And I'll do ex9, lowercase. And now it should be on the same level as the ex8. And you're not seeing a little arrow there because there's nothing in it. But what you are going to put in it is the same file that you used here. So you can go here, the one that you did in ex8, you can copy it, and I'm just right clicking and I'll hit copy, and then I'll close this up, and I'll go in here, I can even double click on it, and I'll do Control V, and make sure it gets inside there. Make sure your index.php gets inside there, and that's all you have to do. You shouldn't have to do the make dir, but just to make sure that this is working, because I think they fixed it. If I open this up, and this is the one I did last time for ex8. Now, if I open this up again, remember, to get here, you have to go to this running URL and open up your localhost page. And I like to go in Goorm PHP first, and then kind of append ex9 here. So let's see if this works. I'll take off the fin, and that works. Last time when I did it that way, I got forbidden, but now it's working. Now this is the old code, so I don't want this right now. Now I could leave this up. So I'm just going to go back there. I'll leave that open. I'll cancel out of this. That's because my old code is in here right now, and it's running our old query, which we're going to adjust all this. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in some HTML in here. We're going to kind of wrap our PHP tags. Remember, this is the starting PHP tag, and then this is the ending PHP tag, and we're going to wrap some HTML inside here. We can mix it together. Now, I'm not a PHP expert, and there's even some efficient ways to do this when we write out our code that may be better than what we're doing here, but we're going to get it to work first, and then we'll worry about being more efficient with PHP in the future, if that's what we're going to continue to do. So what we're going to have to do here with our ex9, and make sure this is the one, even if you're not sure you have the right one open, like let's say you have two folders open or something like that, just close this up, and close this up, and make sure you have this one open. And what we're going to do here, just to get started, is I'm going to click right here, put my cursor right before that, and I'm just going to do a doc type tag, which is going to be a less than sign, an exclamation point, and I'm just going to put doc type in all caps. This is just something you're supposed to do for HTML. I'm going to do HTML. It's just a declaration, so we'll just put that first. It'll just show up in white. And then after that, I'm going to do an opening HTML tag, and you should do the less than sign and just type HTML. And you might get some coding hints here, and you could just click on it, and that's all you need. Now it's putting a closing one right here. We're going to move that to the end, but just leave it here for now. And then what I'm going to put in next, if you're familiar with HTML at all, you're going to put in a head tag. So I'm just going to start typing head, and it should come up. And if you close it, if you put the greater than sign to close it, it'll write the closing tag for you. So this is the opening tag, this is the closing tag. Now the head tag doesn't really show anything, and what's going to go in the head tag is going to be the title, and our CSS is going to go in here. So I'm going to put in a title, and I'm just going to say title. And notice how it's creating kind of a indented kind of area here. So it's nested. The head is inside the HTML, the title is inside the head. And what I'm going to put in here for the title is whatever shows up here. Like just how this thing was showing Goorm PHP, it's just showing the address. You can put a title up here, and what I'll do is just put a title and just put ex9 PHP table. I could just do that. That way I know I'm working on the right exercise. That's all you need in there. It doesn't have to be in quotes or anything like that. This is HTML that we're doing here. So that's the title tag. And then also you might as well do this right now. I'm going to do style, and I'll start typing style. And if you click on style, it'll be open like that, and it might have to say style and then type, and you're going to put equals, and we're just going to do text CSS. I think that's correct. And that's all that you should have to do in there. I haven't done this for a while, and it has to be in quotes, text/CSS. It's going to look like this. So let me just copy this. That way I don't have to mess around with it. So, and I'll close this so I'm in the right file. So I'll highlight this whole tag here. So it's going to say style type equals text/CSS. I haven't done this for a while, so I don't remember it from heart when I do it. So this will be our opening style tag, and then I'm just going to do a closing style tag. I didn't line up correctly, and I'll move that out there. Now what we're going to put in here are CSS styles that are going to help style our table so it looks nice. So those are going to be formatting things. You might have done that in Intro to Computing or something like that. We're going to do that in there. So we're going to put some style tags in here. We're not doing a separate CSS file right now because we don't want to have that many files going on. So we'll just put them in here. There's not a whole lot of styles we'll be doing. So again, this is the opening, and this is the closing, and this is the opening, and this is the closing. And we don't want our closing HTML to be right here. So before I do anything else, I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to cut it. So you could do Command X on Mac or Control X on Windows. And I'm going to go to the bottom behind everything, or after everything, and I'll paste my closing HTML, and I'll move it out here because I think it's out to the margin. So I'll keep it where it is there. And if I close this little thing up, you can see that's what it does. There's my closing. So it collapses it. So the next thing in is head. Now also at the same level as head, I'm going to do something called body. And what we're going to do is we're going to start a table before our PHP and end a table after our PHP. So after the head tag here, I'm going to do body, which just means the visual stuff that you'll see on a page is body tag. So I'm going to make my first one there, and then I'll cut this and put this at the end. Now remember, this is going to be inside. So we're kind of wrapping these tags around all our PHP right now, and we'll fix this up and make it look nicer. And then what we're also going to do, because body's going to be inside, I'm going to make a table tag. And we're going to have a starting table tag, and when you get the closing one right here, cut that again, Command X or Control X, and put that before this. So I'm going to hit return here, move that back in, and paste the table tag here, and I'm going to try to keep it in the same order. So I'll tab these things over. So it should be lined up like that, indented ones. Actually, this could be here, and then this could be here. So that's lined up the same as it is up here. Because body is one indent in, and then table is two indents in, one indent, two indents, and that's it. And notice this is after, so I can even put an extra space here just to separate it from my PHP. So these are closing HTML, body, and table tags. And then up here I have my opening HTML, body, and table tags. And then this head tag is kind of in between, and it's right after the HTML, the opening HTML, and there's a head tag, and there's two things in there. There's a title tag that is just the title that's going to show up on your tab or if people are bookmarking the page, that's where that text will show up. That'll say ex9 PHP table. You can even put your name here if you want. You know, that way you can see it when it shows up. And then the style tags, which we're going to fill up later. And then what we're going to do, and I'll take away some of these extra spaces here. What we're going to do in our PHP is adjust some of this PHP here. Instead of just having them so there's just line breaks, we're going to make these so they're actually table rows and table cells, just like in that little video that you watched. So we're going to edit this code so it looks all nice, and then we're going to format it nicer by putting some CSS styles in here. So that's what we're going to be doing next. So I'm going to save. I have an asterisk there, so I'm going to do a Command or Control S, and I'm going to take a break here, and then I'm going to come back and start working with HTML tags inside our PHP, and then we're going to style it.